Momentum and restraint. So we go through, as I mentioned yesterday, we go through wavelengths in this game, right? One of the first things you learn how to do is momentum. You learn your combos, your punishes, and then what do you learn after that? Your Oki, and then what you do in the corner. So it's the stages of getting the punish, getting the knockdown, getting the Oki, pushing him to the corner, throw, stun, kill. That's like a really linear way of looking at it. Get the hit confirm into corner, kill, momentum. So we start to build our game plan around our offense. That's how I think generally most people build their offense first, because it's pretty natural. Defense is way more in depth and cryptic initially. Like it's when you don't know about fighting games, the only thing you know about defense is blocking, and blocking is just hold down back. So that's it. Okay, good. I know how to down back. All right, good. Defense unlock. Let's move to the offense. Let's get these sexy punishes going. But at some point, you start to learn that your offense could be defensive too, and this is where we get to restraint, where sometimes, and the reason why I bring this up so much is because I have big problems with this. I tend to bring up more often things that I personally have issues with, so it's like a reminder to myself as well as verbalizing it to you guys what the problem is. So I wish I had a replay example on this. Maybe I can hop in training mode real quick while I talk about this. But when you see someone's stun meter is really close, or their health is really low, and you just want to go get that last hit and finish off the round, if we were to keep tabs on how often someone just gets a lucky crouch medium kick into activate, into Oki, into side switch, into stealing the game off of you, I think you'd be surprised if you watch your replays how much the win was right at the grasp, right in your grasp, but you just let it go because you overextended a little bit. You know, and this is very easy to do, especially as an Akuma player. You have so many options. He's about to be stunned, so what do? You do demon flip, and you go for demon flip throw. Lots of recovery. They do crouch medium punch into activate, side switch, whatever they do. Restraint is dialing back and taking away some of the things that you worked on initially. How many things have you grown and then taken away from yourself later on in your game plan? Me, a lot, boy. Remember this? Remember this here? You have to take things away too. Some things are not worth remembering. That's why restraint is so big. You know how hard it is to restrain yourself when you have a whole entire life lead? You have an entire life lead. Oh, Clydie, thank you very much for the follow. When you have all the resources, you have all the health, they have 15% health, and they're in the corner almost stunned. You know how hard it is to restrain yourself sometimes from just getting in there? Sometimes just hanging out and waiting for them, because they're the ones in the dire situation. They need to make a call. And it takes a stronger player to actually have the wherewithal to just, like this Ken right here, to really search for an opening instead of spazzing out like, oh, I got to tech right when they get in. So this is another stage of the game where it's like people's resolves are put to the test. You never, with resources, you never have a true life lead in this game. I could have 100% health. They can have 30%, but if the Ken has full V trigger, full critical art, there ain't no life lead. Okay, that can change in literally 8 seconds. So consider that. Consider how easy it is to be robbed in this game and play with that amount of care. Think of the resources as an extension of your health bar, of their health bar. What's going on, Rich? How long did it take you to get to where you're at? I've been playing for 5 years. A lot. I will say that I could have gotten further faster had I trained properly. Speaking of training properly, the importance of frame data. Do you absolutely need to know frame data to compete in this game? No. But it's a measurement of the game. And if you don't understand measurements, then you're always going to have to go back and experiment with every single situation you run into. But if you know the formula, you don't have to always go back and, research every situation. You could just tell me, that so-and-so is -6 and I know what to do. I don't have to like go in the lab and lab it out. What is that again? Oh, -6. Oh, I do this. What is that? Oh, it's this. Oh, if it's +6 here, then I can do stand medium kick. You don't have to research everything. It's like knowing the formula. It's just like algebra. If you know the formula, instead of just trying to improvise every single time and figure it out equation by equation, you're saving yourself time. It's an efficiency move. And why wouldn't you want to be more efficient? It takes a lot of time to learn, and I would recommend doing it in your free time, just studying up on it. But as soon as you understand how it works, like a door opens up. Oh my gosh, it's much more simple. You start to see numbers instead of moves. Like when you're a player who knows frame data, you see a mixer. You don't just see like a guy spinning. You see -2 in your head, right? You just immediately a -2 pops in your head, and that mix-up begins. That's the type of stuff that helps you out. It's just more efficient, you know. Knowing that stuff is efficient. As soon as someone sees forward heavy punch, anyone who knows frame data is like, oh, -2. But if you don't know frame data, and you just happen to know, like, oh, this is when I can press a button. That's like without the frame data. Oh, this is my turn. You know. But being able to counter frame traps, all that type of stuff, set up Oki situations. If you're really good at frame data, you can set up Oki situations just based on paper. Well, if I'm +24 right there, that gives me a forward dash into whatever, you know. Yeah, so basically when Poison does the orange move whip that pulls you closer to her, it's your turn. It's your turn to EXDP, maybe. Let's skip meditation for a second because that's going to be a little bit more involved, but leveling up. I have leveling up in quotations because this is something that I don't think people really mention too much. It's a personal thing, but when I was doing I did a first to 10 with this Ryu player probably 4 years ago. This is probably like a little after the game came out, and I had a lot to learn, of course, and I was down 7-2 and then 8-3, and then something clicked in my head where I was like, well, I just thought to myself, like, this guy's not better than me. There must be some sort of just like mental, psychological issue that's going on here. And I won the next 7 straight. And I thought to my head when that happened, I just leveled up. That's what I'm talking about with leveling. Have you guys ever told that to yourself? Like, I just leveled up just now. I don't know where exactly it comes from, but there are certain elements of this game that it's like something opens up, like your third eye opens up, and you just think to yourself, like, I leveled up just now. I just saw the game differently for a second. Yeah, I don't know if it's downloaded the matchup. I just saw a different way of the game, you know? Like, just recently, my most recent one was when I pointed out to myself that I don't pay too much attention to how I react defensively to certain situations. I'm more so thinking about how to get my turn back, but I don't recognize what I'm doing after a certain situation. Like, for example, if I block Mixer, it's -2. I can jab, I can throw, I can press a bigger button, I can block. All these things, but I don't really keep tabs on what I do. So I had an epiphany while I was, this was off stream, but I thought in my head, as I was seeing new things, my eye opened up and I thought, I just saw something new about this game. That's what I mean by leveling up, because as soon as a door opens up, like, for example, you ever hear a new word and you understand what the word means, and then the next thing you know, the fucking word is everywhere? A word that happened with me recently is the word venture capitalist. I never really thought to think about that word, and now that I hear that word everywhere I go, it's like venture capitalism, venture capitalism. Like, so that's the same thing in this game. It's like when you start to understand something, you see it everywhere in every match. When your eye opens up to it, you know. That's such an interesting part of this game. People have been doing it all along, and you've never been able to recognize it because your eyes weren't opened up to it. And I think leveling up, that internal feeling of leveling up, is when you see a different part of the game. Oh. Like when I realized delay crouch medium punch was a thing and how I can use that to bait out EXDP and still maintain some pressure, door opened up to me. You know, learning new tech. What's another thing? How else? When else did I level up? Like mentally. I can't recall. How about you guys? Do you guys remember a time when you told yourself, "Oh, I just leveled up just now. I just saw the game different." You know, not just, "Oh, I realized I could punish Ken with this." We're talking actually leveling up. You tell yourself in your head and to no one else, "I just leveled up. I just felt like a growth. I felt an extra brain cell float into my fucking chicken breast." It's a good feeling. Sure, I ain't talking about feeling yourself. I'm not talking about you giving yourself a chubby when you land a fucking sick hit confirm. Hey, Shoryu. Let me turn this down a little bit. I kind of want to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about. Is there anyone in the chat who's competent enough to talk about categorizing your opponent? Because we could make that our next subject. Categorizing your opponent. This is to say, I think we all do little parts of this. But what you're basically doing is placing your opponent in a category to help you understand what their next calls might be and what type of player they are and what they're most likely to do. Yeah. So if you have if I have a Ken player who always is offensive on the back burner, they're more likely to do this, they're more likely to do this, right? Or you notice they never have super because they're always, we make little reads like that, like, man, every time this guy has a bar, he does this. But what I'm talking about, those are reads, and reads are a little part of categorizing your opponent, but there's a certain level of player who's able to completely understand what type of player you are. Are you the type of person to dash demon as an Akuma player? Like, are you is that likely to happen when you're put in this situation? And there's some players out there like Smug who just, I could tell that when I do something, he's not just looking at this is what he does in this situation. He's looking at it as this is the type of player to do this in this situation. So if you are like, I'll do forward heavy punch, which is -2 on my end, which means it's not my turn anymore. I sometimes jab. If an opponent is really smart, they're seeing that I'm putting them on the spot, and I think they can categorize me by doing that. He's the type of guy, Strat Chapter is the type of guy to press jab in a -2 situation to see if I'm paying attention. And maybe just from that, they're able to tell I'm also the type of person to wake up with a crouch medium kick. And I am the type of person to do that. You see what I'm saying? It's a risk taker. It's a low risk situation unless the opponent is super aware, because they're just going to jab or whatever they're going to do. But I'm willing to give up health to kind of see what you're going to do in a -2 situation, and then I won't do it anymore. But I am the type of opponent to wake up crouch medium kick. I actually think me and Kami are similar in personality, our play styles. I think he's willing to do what he wants to do in order to make a point. Who is a super aware player that you know? Dual Kevin, Idom, Smug. I don't really put Dual Kevin. I don't really. He's a great player, but I don't really put him in that category of being able to instantly assimilate characters, opponents. Idom is crazy. He actually is so crazy. It's hard for me to tell sometimes if he even cares what the opponent is doing. His offense is just so strong that and defense. It's just hard to tell if he's actually understanding the opponent or if he's just so overwhelming. But Smug definitely, and I because I know this from personal experience of playing him, that it's just like, why did you think I was going to do that? And I don't know if he'd be able to elaborate, but he definitely knows, like, when I'm in a bad situation. Let's say I have all my resources and I'm in the corner, low health, low stun. Am I the type of person to take that risk and try to push the momentum off me right away? Or do I have the resolve to stay blocking, stay aware, stay focused, and stay in it? Well, he'd be able to tell me faster than he's definitely going to fucking wake up jab here. Because if he knows that I know that he knows that I want to wake up EXDP, then obviously wake up jab is a good option, because then he's going to respect my wake up, and then I'm going to get the pressure. But if he knows that, if he knows I'm the type of person to think that, then he can press a button. You see what I'm saying? It's like a mix up on top of mix up, and how far can you go with how far along is your thinking? How far ahead are you thinking? like in a chess match, Magnus Carlsen, he sees you make one move, he already is getting an understanding of like what you're looking for. You know what I mean? You make a move on the pawn on the chessboard, you move that second pawn to the right, you move it up 2, then you make a move here. He already sees strategy. That's what you could do in this game. I think you could look way beyond. I look situation by situation, and then sometimes 2 moves ahead. Sometimes. But these players have like a long-term overarching, like, that's why you could take games off these guys sometimes, because they're looking on a far, like when there's a high level player meets a lower level player, sometimes the higher level player goes so high up that it kind of seems like it translates to coming back down this way. How do you determine if your opponent has a game plan? So everyone has a game plan. It's just, does your game plan suck? You know? Even if you don't flesh it out, you have some sort of game plan. You just don't know what you're doing. You know, is your game plan just improvise the whole time? Because that is a game plan, it just is not a good one. Term Cap, thank you very much for that follow. I think high level players have a concrete game plan. They can hold their game plan in their hand. They're so, when I'm looking for this, I'm gonna do this. What's your strategy? And then this. They can elaborate. I think what you're talking about is how you determine if your opponent has no game plan that they can like elaborate on. You run into a silver Ken, like, what were you trying to do there? Like, ask them exactly, what are you trying to do there? Oh, I don't know. I was just trying to win or whatever. That is a game plan. It just sucks. So categorizing your opponent, yeah. What are the different subcategories? I think what Daigo mentioned once was a very offensive, risk taker, like defensive. I can't remember. He had categories. I think he had 3, only 3. Like very offensive, very defensive, and then maybe an assortment or like a mix of the 2. But he just determines by offense related. Like, are you do you have an offensive defense or do you have a defensive offense? Maybe that's what it is. Like, I would say, if you were to look at Tokido, I would say Tokido always has defense first, even in his offense. I think most top players think defensively using offense. You know what I mean? I've talked about this before. Defense is always at the forefront, but you're kind of masking it behind your actions. That is to say, when you're thinking defensively, you're thinking carefully. Reducing risk by thinking defensively. If you just blindly do offense, you're not considering where you could be taking advantage of. So when they're thinking defensively, it's always like there's just a consideration of what the opponent is doing too. I think when you're thinking pure offense, you're just thinking about what you're doing, and then when you're thinking about defense, you're thinking about what your opponent's doing. But if you're thinking about your offense defensively, you're basing it around what they're doing. So I think especially maybe someone like Daigo is really able to pick that out about you right away. How much of what I'm doing are you considering? I'm trying better to watch my opponents, but you know, I'm not that good at the game. I'm pretty good, but there's at least 2 levels above me. There's at least 2 levels above me. There's the great players, and then there's the outstanding players. And I don't put myself in the great players yet. I put myself in the really good players. Really good players, I think for the most part, like me, have their game plan fleshed out. Or they have their game plan figured out, but not fleshed out. Where it's like, I need to practice more of what I'm doing. I think I'm on the path to being a great player. I'll be a great player eventually. I don't think I'll ever be an outstanding player. Because there's only a select few elite players, in my opinion, you know, that are actually what I would call like an elite outstanding player, who stand out amongst great players. Like, even amongst all of these big boys, they're still standing out above that. Punk, Idom, Smug come to my mind right away, you know? As far as like America goes, and then Tokido, Daigo, NL, or something like Tokido, Daigo, Fujimura. they come to your mind right away. They stand out even amongst like the outstanding. So maybe there's 3 levels above me. In any case, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is I could see the next step. I can see it. Maybe you guys can too. Maybe Stacks Edwards here. How defensively are you thinking when you're implementing your game plan against your opponent? How are you basing what you do on what your opponent does? How often are you doing that? Because I could say honestly, I don't do it as much as I know I should, but I do it more than I used to. I do it more than I used to. I definitely consider more. And when that door opens up to you, that's like one of those level up things I'm talking about, where you realize how little you're paying attention. I feel like that's what I'm talking about when you're leveling up. You pay attention more. You've learned to pay attention a little bit more. Because when you first play the game, you're a bronze player, or you're like a low level player against a high level player. It's impossible to win because you cannot pay the amount of attention as they are, no matter how hard you try. You cannot pay attention because you don't know. You can't pay attention to what you don't understand. You can't see it. You can't see it. The reason why I started playing this game, is because I wanted to know what they were talking about, what they were getting so hype about. The first thing I think about is when James Chen, Ultra Dave would say, "Oh, FADC into Ultra." I'm like, what? Oh, you can kill him with a FADC into Ultra. I'm like, FADC into Ultra? Sounded like fucking extraterrestrial speak. So as I started playing the game more and more, I just wanted to know more and more about the game, more and more about this, and then next thing you know, I'm like completely dedicated to learning this game. It started off with just wanting to understand what they're hype about. Because I would watch Daigo versus Infiltration, but I didn't know what I was watching. I just saw Daigo's resolve. That's all I could see. And I think that's why Daigo's so popular, because you don't need to know the game to see that he's in it. Like when he just did that walk up, you don't have to know about Street Fighter that much to see that when Daigo does that walk up, it's fucking sick. Like, you know, he's putting his health is low, everything's like against him, but he just walks forward. You don't have to know about Street Fighter to know that that's sick, because you're in a danger zone and he goes like this. You don't have to know about fighting to know that's risky. Like, he just took a huge risk there in front of what you know is a top player. You know, because it's winners finals of a. You don't need to know Street Fighter to know what you're watching. It's high level when it's a tournament. Commentators going, "Oh, FADC and Ultra." You just know you're watching high level stuff. So, just watching that is so sick, and that Daigo walk forward is what inspired me. Not Evo Moment 37, not anything like that. Daigo walking forward and then doing the crossover Tatsu, cross up Tatsu into fucking whatever. Has anyone said you look like Daniel Bryan? I've never heard that. Yeah. No. I don't really see what you're talking about. You know? I've never heard that. So you're gonna have to ask somebody else. I'm just kidding. I hear that all the time. I used to hear that all the time. What's going on, Demon Dan? I mean, half the time you're dropping combos, so how could you? Well, you could start by not dropping your combos. How do you get hair like that? A little Thorial. Anyway, Big Boulder. Yeah. I mean, I've been growing my hair for so long. I don't know what you mean by like that, but I feel like my hair feels like horse hair. We could segue for a second. Notebook, as didn't you say CM Punk did a double take at you? When I was, so CM Punk lives here in Chicago. I don't know if he lives here full time anymore, but his house is about a 10-minute bus ride from where I live now. So I know that area he lives in. I know where he lives, and he's got an awesome outside of his house. But he lives in this very busy area of I don't know what neighborhood that is exactly, near Wicker Park. Anyway, There's a taco place nearby there called Antique Taco, and he was sitting there with that girl, the wrestler. I don't know. I don't watch wrestling. This motherfucker, CM Punk, looks out the window, sees me, and he does this. He goes, and he like bugs out. He legit thought I was Daniel Bryan. I know he. I could tell by the way he looked. He thought he recognized me. He like looked at me like, and then he realized it wasn't him, and then just kept doing the talking. But I could tell he thought he recognized me. It was crazy. It's funny to see someone like him looking at you like that. I think I had my hair down too, so it was probably uncanny. And they said, "Oh, that's not Daniel Bryan." I've seen him probably 5 times in that area. I used to hang out there all the time, and he's always around there. And he's a funny guy. That dude never looks happy. That dude has a constant chip on his shoulder. I saw him tell a young fan that it's not that hard to ask for a picture. He's like, just ask for the picture. It's not that fucking hard. I'm like, I was like, you better not talk to me like that, bitch. I seen you on UFC, boy. I ain't scared of you.
Happy 6 months 3.
We're the same size too, so it's a fair fight. Let's go, bro. Yazzie. Good morning, or over there, good evening. I hope you had a good stream. I see you got momentum going. Hope everything's good. Was Shakote talking about you? That's the talk of the town. That's what I'm trying to figure out. You may want to investigate. Kind of airing out your business here, but it's the first thing I saw when I woke up this morning. So that's just how it goes. And that's what I was assuming. Oh wait, yes, he's like, wait, what? I don't even know. No, I don't go on Twitter. You're full of it. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Clyde, me explain myself. I think someone else has explaining to do. I think I just lost a screw in my chair. This shit's going way back. Whoa. Anyway, just go on Twitter. Oh, thank you very much, Yazzie. Thank you. We're actually just in the middle of topics. Thank you very much. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. This probably. You've gifted 9 subs. Wow, thank you. We're just about to hit the topic of meditation, so if this is a good one, let me go to the bathroom and then we're gonna get into it. Thank you very much, Yazzie. Guys, you're about to see something really rare here. I'm about to bring both my animals in here at the same time. Hold on, Yazzie, hold on. You do not want to miss this. This is so rare. You watching? There they are. There's these boys. There's the boys. Oh, yeah, I see Riley got that little red rocket, you nasty boy. Huh? You nasty boy. Oh, shit. Dude, I definitely lost I just lost something. Okay. All right, yeah, you can get out of here. You had a long day. Thanks for dropping by. I'll see you next time. Damn. All right, let's talk about meditation. Ooh, what a sexy topic. Ooh, so sexy. You guys want to talk about meditation? Wow. How tantalizing. Wait, hang on. Whoa. What, you troublemaker? Oh man, something's up with my chair, bro. It's like, why is it going back so far now? Whoa. Okay. Meditation. Ranked is a circus today. Nothing but Blanca, Mika, Abigail, Dawson. You know what that means? You see circus, I see opportunity. Okay. What do you guys think about when you hear meditation? I know what you think about. You think about Hom Shimo Shuken. Okay. Let's put this simply. An extreme awareness of the present is what people seek when they pursue meditation. No distractions, no judgment, nothing. If you're able to, and the reason why it's so important is because usually you have no stimulation of any kind. You're sitting down. That's why there's the whole eyes closed, fucking this shit like this. You don't want any type of distractions. Of course, this is hard to do if you've never done it before. I can't do it. I used to do hour-long meditations, but my brain would just send me on fucking runaway trains. I would be thinking about whatever. Street Fighter, boobies come flying out of nowhere. You know, you ever close your eyes for like a whole hour and not think about, you know, getting down? It's not happening. It's like your brain's so corrupt. Or music, sounds, that like, you know, my brain is always playing songs in my head constantly. So when I'm trying to meditate, when I'm trying to pay attention to my thoughts, you know, because you're not trying to shut everything up right away. You're trying to just see everything as an observation of the present, right? And you can use tools as a focus point. Some people like to use a focus point. I think it's a good thing initially that you can meditate. Sometimes you do it unwittingly, unknowingly. Meditate while you're playing Street Fighter. If you're playing Street Fighter and you have a zero distraction and a sheer focus on the present moment of the game, you are meditating in a sense. Anytime you reach that flow state, you're technically in this meditative state where the only thing you're focused on is the absolute present. There's no anxiety from the future or depression from the past. There's just now. You're in it. You're in it. Whenever you get immersed, people experience a lot, particularly in video editing. Once you get in it, you're just fucking going, boom, 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 boom. It's so stimulating. The only difference between that type of meditation and the type that you're thinking about is the idea that there's zero distraction. I'm not good at that, but I can see the benefits of having no external distractions, and that if you're able to pay attention to nothing, imagine how well you're able to pay attention to something that stimulates you. That's what I think is the key takeaway from it. People pursue it very spiritually, but if you're talking about using it as a tool, you're talking about being able to pay attention to nothing. Think about that. Think about being lost in your thoughts, but being able to observe them in the present. How well you'd be able to translate that to just watching the game. Because when you get upset at this game, you're not thinking about the present. You're thinking about when you lose and what's going to happen. If you're paying attention to just the present, there's nothing to get upset about. It's when you start thinking about what's happening. Like when I get really upset with Sagat, it's not getting hit with the fireball that's upsetting me. It's what I see happening because of that, and like where my brain's going. It's the distractions of the thoughts that are occurring, not so much just getting hit with the fireball or just missing that sweep on his fucking front leg. See me thinking about it. I'm getting mad. I'm thinking about the idea of it. I'm not focused on the present when that's going on. You see what I'm saying? So if you're able to meditate properly and keep an awareness of nothing at all, try it sometime. Just give it a whirl. If you've never done this before, let me turn this off. And if you're at work, get back to work. But if you have a second, close your eyes and try just observing the thoughts that come to you. Not trying to control your thoughts. How long can you sit there and do that without just something taking you away? For me, it's about, I don't know, 20 seconds, maybe 16 seconds. If you've never practiced it, there's no way you're not getting lost in your thoughts. It's crazy. Like I was trying to do it when I woke up this morning. I was trying to meditate when I woke up this morning, and so I laid in bed. I stared at the ceiling, and I'm not gonna tell you guys what I was thinking about, but you know, the men in here can understand when you like wake up in the morning, and you got your testosterone flowing. I could not think about anything other than whatever. So I'm just sitting there. Then it takes me away. Bring it back. But you're not trying to not have the thoughts. You're trying to observe the thoughts occurring in your brain. But instead, you latch onto one of those thoughts and you grab onto something else. You're not trying to shut things up. You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to see them. You're just trying to see them. The thoughts in your head aren't you. You aren't you. You're nothing but the culmination of all these things combined, you know? What are you beyond your senses and your thoughts, you know? So that's how this translates to Street Fighter 5. And people are thinking like it calms you down. I'm trying to like regulate my blood levels. What's really going on is you're learning how to actually pay attention. And I think that's what most people suffer from. You're looking at the game, you're looking at your phone, I'm looking at the stream, I'm looking at the chat, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about that, going back to the game, going back to what Glitter said, going back to the game, going back to what Rich said, Caitlin Snow, you guys are all talking, I'm going back like this, my brain's everywhere. How do I expect to win games consistently if I can't even pay attention? How do you expect to? Okay, that's where meditation really comes in, because we do not pay as much attention as we think we do. Just don't. I know I don't. And I'm pretty good at paying attention in general, so I know I'm speaking to some of you guys when I say you're not paying attention. If you're watching the game and you go, "Oh my god," you're not really paying attention. These guys who are super paying attention, when you see Tokido get hit with something in a match, oh shit, do you see him go, "Oh my god, oh wow"? No, he doesn't. Oh god, imagine Tokido like this is bullshit, bro. It doesn't matter what's happening, he's in it. That's what separates him from us. Motherfucker. Rich, it's the basis. If you don't have an attention span, you can't learn anything substantial. God, what is this guy doing? I guarantee you nowadays, well, I can't say it never happens. He's also probably good at masking his vulnerabilities, but he probably doesn't think, what is this fucking dumbass doing? There's no way he thinks that. He thinks, download complete. All right, got you. Assimilated. Maybe he is thinking like, what a dumbass fucking bitch. But then he's looking at you like, but he's really thinking like, you guys are fucking trash. May not RD only one because that bullshit bullhorn pushback. This fucking bitch robbed me of my title. Who knows? In any case, they save face. Yeah, you're not trying to judge your opponent's like personality. Yeah, that was stupid. And Mena did the right thing in exploding that power, but Tokido was absolutely robbed of what was supposed to happen. If that didn't exist, he wouldn't have lost. He had the game plan, but he did not take into consideration how well that counter hit pushback on the bullhorn was going to come into play. He was not able to do combos. Can you imagine that? Like in the middle of the set, you just realize none of your combos are going to work? Oh my god. And I think I told you guys. Hey, speaking of which, you guys want to see something of extreme magnitude? Check this out. You guys want to talk about trying to be in a meditative state in a high octane situation? Check this out. I'll show you guys. I've showed you guys this before, but it's been a long time. Dude, my chair is definitely fucked. Check this out. Let's see if I can find it.
You can't get but game away from taking Capcom. Yep, the DR boys are starting to leave their seats. They're walking around, looking up to the.
Let me get through this advertisement. Piece of shit.
Choose the one with antioxidant vitamin C. Choose Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
Guy.
It's the one. Menardi has taken the lead over Tokido. He's 2 games to 1. He's 1 game away from becoming the Capcom.
I'm trying to find it. It might take me a second here.
Our boys are starting to leave their seats. They're walking around, looking up to the sky. They know their boys only 1 game away from taking Capcom Cup and $250,000.
Tokido said, go to character select.
Okay.
Take a little bit of time to think.
Let's see here.
A man who has been on this stage before. He won EVO in 2002. So much damage.
It's enough? Oh, boy. Even Mena was surprised.
So much damage. Well, you know what? That makes up for the last game where it just missed killing. So this time he got it, and we're
Where is it?
1-1 here.
God dang it, where is it?
And beats the Zonk.
Maybe it was at the reset. I'm not sure.
Looking
5 extra health to Akuma.
That's right. Activate was what he brought out, but wow, we haven't seen that almost at all. What a call from Tokido in that spot. Maybe looking for shimmy?
There was some. I can't remember what it was, but do you guys just want to watch the whole thing? Is that what you're saying? This is a smile of even though I think he lost that particular round,
That's what it
but
seemed like.
he still seemed pretty confident. It didn't seem like a worried smile. That was more like that was bullshit look.
In season 2.
Let's just watch it from here.
Tokido, I thought Menardi was going to have the lead for the first time, but no. Tokido goes up 1 game to 0 against Menardi.
Oh, was that it right there?
But no, Tokido goes up 1 game to 0 against Menardi. Wow, nice combo confirmed there from Tokido.
Punish. Tokido now has the pressure for himself.
I haven't watched this in a long time.
Nevertheless, fighting.
Nice, beautiful stuff from Menardi there.
Tokido back out to that range. Okay, it is back to the Fierces, back to that game he was playing before.
Ah, okay, there we go.
Free slides all day. Oh wow.
It's crazy. There are so many.
He just throws it out in the most unusual situations, and it's a different.
Those sweeps were not punishable back then, by the way.
Nothing else. Tokido activates.
And see, this is you see this? You think that's an accident? No. The crouch medium punch wasn't working the whole set, so he started to second guess everything.
Moves.
That was a big mistake.
The juggle. No, of course, not out of the air. But in there instead with the X, and there was a can coming to save his hide just in case.
Menardi taking round number 1.
You guys remember the Kaoma run? Wow.
So many fortunes and misfortunes in this match.
That sweep was such bullshit back in the day.
Tokido plays patiently.
Uppercut.
Block that, gets the punish,
Yeah.
and beats the Zonk again. Anti-air light punch into the command throw.
Tokido away. Just waiting for Birdie to come to him.
Oh no.
And an overhead. I don't know if that was
Yeah,
intentional.
that was definitely a mistake. And then Tokido just going with that, the EX uppercut again. Oh man.
Back and forth. Tokido just blocked it out.
Oh, this
Almost
so
enough.
much damage.
Oh my god.
Boy, even Mena was surprised.
So much damage. Well, you know what? That makes up for the last game where it just missed killing. So this time he got it, and we're tied 1-1 here in this grand final.
But we have to watch Tokido here,
Damage on
because you guys know what Tokido looks like when he's like doing his meditative breathing. But I couldn't find it. But there's a time when it's different. You could tell, it's not convincing to him. Like it's more like he's breathing to accept the loss.
trying to cage Tokido, but Tokido
We'll find it. I hope. I don't know if it's in the first part. That's part. The way he breathes is like this is gonna be taken from me. You could just feel it.
There we go. And that back heavy punch is so good because he hits him out of the air because he waits on.
It's just speculation, of course, but the way I felt when I saw him do it live, I was like, I knew I just
timing on that button.
didn't have a good feeling at all. Oh wow! Remember this?
That spacing and that timing on that button, they just have been so important.
Again, Menardi has defended against that so well.
Yeah, and I love that Mena doesn't always do the anti-air when triggers on deck. He's looking for the air fireballs. But now he's still very dangerous. Same with Tokido. Comes in with forward fierce at that range.
I can't remember if that was +1 still.
Still alive, Mena.
That was like a fake. He's done towards heavy punch in a row so many times. I feel like that jump was a fake that time. Oh, trying to
Almost
catch him by
super, and once
surprise.
that, Super's there now, and so Tokido has to be.
I bet Super would kill.
Can't get hit.
Stand medium punch and that into Super. That would have killed.
Nothing. Tokido patient.
Oh, he did bring out the fireball in Zonk range as well.
He still looks okay right here.
Round number 2, game number 2.
I think he
all important.
thinks
Go up to
I
the
got this.
Again, Tokido
That fucking
not
sweep.
disturbed.
It makes me mad watching it.
Right? No, he's still done it. He's taking up that space. That space right there. If he can shut that down. Oh, the whiff.
He thought it was going to be a fireball.
Yes, it was a bait.
Oh, that time again. Oh, and he's going to spend it. Okay, he wants the big damage. He knows that he's got 2 more rounds to build a lot more meter back. Here we go.
Fucking Oki.
Tokido now with the resource of V-trigger.
And still unable to punish that. There it is. There it is. Look, there it is, you guys. Check this out. Watch the pushback.
Sweep activate.
See that pushback?
Oh, we got the counter hit 2 times. But nothing else.
Mena just
after that.
patient right there. Just patient. Just blocking it out. Willing to take the grab. No big deal.
And found the exact right time to counter poke. Oh, that.
I wonder if he could HP. Oh no.
Yes. Ah, overhead didn't matter. TP.
One hit in the critical.
Woo!
Is it enough? No! Birdie, the big boy, stays alive. He's got the EX Zonk for sure. The trigger's
Oh
there.
no.
But it was too far. He just missed it.
This is a heartbreaker, dude.
Tokido of all people missed that range.
All right, round 3, round 3. Here we go. Again, getting that cross up, jump medium punch.
He's doing air fireball like me versus Sagat.
Spent all that resources on that critical art, and now coming into round 3 with barely anything. He's only got 1 bar, and he's got to be careful with that regular fireball.
Oh no, he had just decided on forward fierce in advance. Tough for Tokido, now caught.
Oh!
It was too far for anything else. I like this activation from Tokido. Just get out of there, if nothing else.
He was also maybe trying to bait the Zonk or perhaps the critical art itself.
Threatening with chain. He wants the
Oh,
back.
oh,
He could have done Super there.
Smart man, he remembered.
Yeah, but he did the. There it is again, you guys. Look at this. Watch this. This is why Tokido lost Capcom Cup right there. You ready?
Smart man, he remembered.
Yeah, he saw
That. Look at the pushback because.
that
See that?
With chain. He wants the back. No, he saved it this time.
This is why he lost Capcom Cup. He did not. Mena did well, but this is why he lost.
he saw
That's why he lost. And you see how ready he was to the stand light kick? It's because of the startup of the bullhorn. When you do counter hit, it pushes him back extra far. So he was purposely doing bullhorn on wake up to push him back with counter attack, with counter hit, then be able to whip punish into super and cost him that game right there. And that is a pivotal moment. And that's not even the first time that's happened. And it's not the last either. And right when that happens, look at Tokido.
He's 2 games to 1. He's 1 game away from
Look at his
becoming
breath.
Capcom Cup champion.
Yep, the DR boys are starting to leave their seats. They're walking around, looking up to the sky.
I wish they were showing Tokido now. Look at this.
Game away from taking Capcom
That. You see it? Look at the way he's looking down. Like, that hurt me so much seeing that. Look at this. So he's always doing this, but look at this. This is different. That's a realization that he didn't go over that. He, you know, there's no way. That's not the look of confidence. That's the look of... You see that blink? I know I look too hard into these things, but just take a look at him. Hard to watch for me. Look at that. To me, there's some sort of... I don't know how to explain it. You could see the gloss in his eyes. It's going to be taken away from him.
A man who has been on this stage before. He won Evo in
Oh my God. Isn't that hard to watch?